Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Happy New Year. It's 2024.
It's time.
Did you know, Mel, that it's been a year since they've heard our voices out there?
That's a funny joke that I haven't heard 100 times already.
We wanted to be back sooner, but I got COVID, so we couldn't.
And I was just busy.
Well, you're always busy.
I had a lot of Muse Dash to play.
And Alan Wake.
That's true, but that took up much less of my time than Muse Dash. I need to take breaks from Alan Wake. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm like, this is a little slow. This is a little rich and dense, and I need to go to bed.
You need an Alan break.
That's exactly it.
Anyway, should we play a theme song?
I guess.
In each of us, there burns a soul of a warrior. In every generation, a few are chosen to prove it. Centuries ago, in a time of darkness and fury, that fate befell three strangers. A monk, Kung Lao. An exiled guard, Zero. And the thief, Taja, who have to defend our Earthrealm from the forces of Outworld. By fighting for their lives. By fighting for their honor.
Your soul is mine.
And by fighting for their realm.
It's the burden you must carry.
In a tournament called Mortal Kombat.
It was almost Mortal Kombat.
It did sound Mortal Kombat-y. It's very much in the same vein as Defenders of the Realm, where it's mostly just a man explaining the show to us.
And like there's some synths that could be mistaken for Mortal Kombat's theme if you squint your ears.
Yeah, there's plenty of badat, 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 badat.
But it's mostly a guy.
It's mostly a guy. Was it Raiden? I think it was probably Raiden again, like it was in
I would assume that it was Raiden.
So we're talking about Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Wow.
Have you ever seen this before? I hadn't.
I didn't know that it existed until we accidentally discovered it existed.
Me neither. But also, I think all I knew existed was the movies. I didn't know that Mortal Kombat had strayed into the realm of television.
No, me neither, other than the terrible cartoons.
I didn't even know about those. I mean, obviously I did because we've covered them, but I mean, before we covered them, I didn't know about them. I've learned so much doing this show with you.
I've learned things, and then I immediately forgot them.
Well, good, because that means that I get to tell you again.
It does, because there are times when I'll be, like, playing a game of a show that we've talked about, or just thinking about the media in general. I'll be like, I should know this. We talked about it on our podcast, and it just seeped right out of my ears.
Oh, you know, that's how I kind of feel that way about Mortal Kombat, if I'm being honest, because I came into this show and I was like, what the hell is going on?
You say that, but I feel like it gave me a much better understanding of Mortal Kombat than any of the Mortal Kombat media I have consumed in the past.
Oh, well, that's one of us.
Like, Defenders of the Realm doesn't tell you anything. It just throws you in assuming you've watched both of the movies. And the movies are cuckoo garbage bananas.
Tell us what you really feel.
The movie that came out in, like, 2020, 2021, that was fun. I think I said that the first time we talked about Mortal Kombat. I feel like that taught me the second most about Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Well, this show aired in syndication beginning on October 3rd, 1998, a few months after Mortal Kombat 4 came out for consoles. This was about 2 years after Defenders of the Realm came out, and about 1 year after the second movie came out.
I'm just trying to fit the timeline together in my head.
So game-wise, we're at Mortal Kombat 4. We're around the N64 PS1 era, and movie-wise, I'm as far as like TV and movie stuff goes, I think this was kind of the end of Mortal Kombat's first big boom. and then it went away for like 20 years.
Probably because of this show.
Maybe partly, I don't know.
Didn't we learn that this was the first live action show based on a video game?
Yes, this is. Before this, the only live action stuff based on a video game were the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, obviously, had its segments, but they were just segments. It wasn't the whole show. It wasn't even the main point of the show. And I guess we had, like, Carmen Sandiego, but that's a game show.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
No, I wouldn't count that. This is the first scripted fully live action TV show based on a video game.
And what a show it was.
It's produced by Threshold Entertainment, who also produced the first 2 movies, and have made various theme park attraction videos. You know the kind of theme park attractions where you go in and watch a video in a dark room? They've made a whole bunch of those, apparently.
And they, like, explain the lore of the ride to you?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And they'd made a few of those, like, 4D experiences, you know?
No, I've never ventured into the 4th dimension.
Oh, we gotta take you. I wonder if Muppets 4D is still around at Disney World. That was my first 4D experience. Got squirted in the face by Fozzie Bear.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's still happening in the 3rd dimension.
Listen.
Or does it come from time itself?
Listen. I'm not gonna argue. Do you want to argue with Kermit the Frog about what 4 dimensions means?
There's been a breach! Fozzie's breaking through!
You go into Muppets 4D, you come out 2 days earlier.
You come out in a completely different timeline. Up is down, left is right, the sky is green.
It's like, well, that was pretty good, but I don't understand why they call it 4D and then a car flies over you. Anyway, you want to know what else Threshold Entertainment made?
Tell me.
Food Fight.
Oh, no!
Yeah! I've never watched Food Fight all the way through, but I want to.
The cursed movie?
Yeah, Lawrence Kasanoff, the director of Food Fight, was actually a producer on the 2 Mortal Kombat movies and an executive producer on both this show and Defenders of the Realm. So I don't know why he's so heavily tied to Mortal Kombat, but for whatever reason. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Disney World, apparently that's where this show was filmed.
Cool.
Yeah, they used to have MGM Studios over there. It's called Disney's Hollywood Studios now. But back when I went, it was called MGM Studios, and a part of the gimmick of it was that they were actually filming stuff. And they had an animation studio there as well. When I went, actually, you know what? They might have been filming this there when I was there. I think the timeline matches up. But when I went, they were making Mulan at the... or were they? They might have... No, I think they had recently finished Mulan. Or they were wrapping it up or something. Anyway, they showed us stuff from Mulan. And they were like, this is what's being done here.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. This show had 1 season of 22 episodes. And our first episode here is called Warrior Eternal. Written by Juan Carlos Cotto.
They got 22 whole episodes out of this?
They got 22 whole episodes.
Wild.
Yeah, I'm surprised, as surprised as you are.
I am and I'm not, because, like, they clearly have a story. It's everything else it's everything else.
It's a very odd, it's a very odd show. He also wrote for 24, Heroes, Nikita. He's currently writing 911, which I've never heard of, but it's still ongoing, so.
Good job.
So he wrote for a lot of the big name, like 2000s drama shows, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched 24, but I could not avoid being aware of it.
Yeah, that's what it was like being alive at that time.
So this show is a prequel to the Mortal Kombat series, starring the original Kung Lao, who is referenced in the opening story of the original Mortal Kombat. And then, I think from the second game onwards, one of his ancestors is a playable character, also called Kung Lao.
I was very confused by this show and, like, its canonicity.
I believe this show is a prequel specifically to the movies, rather than the
Okay.
games. Although
Okay.
I think it's generalized enough that it could be both. But it's
I
set.
don't know.
It's set. If it's following the canon of the games, then it would have to be set 500 years earlier than the games are set. And I assume the same holds true for the movies, but I'm not sure.
Because I don't know a lot about Mortal Kombat, but I'm pretty sure Scorpion wasn't an actual scorpion.
Spoilers, first of all. No, I don't know. I was confused about that, but we'll talk about that when it comes up.
Okay.
Basically, the backstory of the first game is that 500 years earlier, Kung Lao battled Shang Tsung and won, saving Earthrealm from whatever the hell is supposed to happen. And then eventually, like, I guess hundreds of years later, Kung Lao ends up defeated by Goro, the big guy with 4 arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads into the first game, and Liu Kang is Kung Lao's replacement
Mm-hmm.
as Earth's champion. I believe that's the plot. Any Mortal Kombat fans out there who know better, forgive me.
It's hard to follow because the series has been rebooted so many times and the timeline has been reset so many times.
I know, I think they like literally just rebooted it again like a couple months ago. So. But this is my understanding of the original universe, because I was looking at the wiki earlier today actually, and like every article now is split up into like original universe, altered universe, current universe.
It's too many universes.
And then that's not even taking the TV shows and movies into account. So like, because this is a prequel to the movies. Defenders of the Realm was a sequel to the movies, but also the games. It like meshed the movies and games together in a weird way.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, our show opens with Kung Lao practicing in a void. Kung Lao is played by Paolo Montalban, who is apparently best known for playing Prince Christopher in a 1997 Cinderella TV movie that seems to be really popular. I've never heard of it, but...
Okay, I had to go and look for something because I was reading up about something earlier just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind, and it kept referring to Mortal Kombat 1, but in a way that clearly meant that it was coming after all of the other games.
Yes.
And Mortal Kombat 1 was just released in 2023,
Yes.
so that everything is confusing forever.
Yeah, the new game is called Mortal Kombat 1. There are 2 games. So the original Mortal Kombat is just called Mortal Kombat. I think around 10 years ago there was a second game that's just called Mortal Kombat, and that was the first reboot. And now there's another reboot which is called Mortal Kombat 1.
Why did they do it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's confusing.
It's confusing. Not only is the real world timeline crazy, but the game world is just imparsable.
Yeah, there were a couple of times in my notes where I referred to the original Mortal Kombat as Mortal Kombat 1, and then I was like, oh, that's confusing. I'm going to have to reword that so people don't think I'm talking about the new one. Anyway, the narrator tells us that Kung Lao will soon be fighting for Earthrealm, and he explains the whole concept of Mortal Kombat to us. I found this very hard to follow. I don't know about you.
I did have to go back and watch it one more time, but I kind of made sense of it, yeah. Like, it's not a good story, per se, but...
No, even for me, like, even knowing some stuff about how this works, I don't know, I just don't like being told something. Like, show it. Don't tell it.
But this is
just a long narrated monologue about... at one point he says the rules are simple, and I was like, are they?
Like, you know me, I'm all for more show than tell, but a show of this caliber, I don't know if it has the ability to show us.
I don't know how much no, I guess it did need some narration, didn't it? Just showing us this fight wouldn't have told us anything.
Yeah, like you'd see two guys fighting, but you wouldn't really understand the stakes.
Yeah.
You'd need an entire series to show that, I think.
What did you think of Shao Kahn's costume?
It was incredible. It was it was giving Party City. It was giving Spirit Halloween.
It sure was. It's exactly what I thought. You see him sitting up there on his iron throne, presiding over the fight, and he's got the cheapest looking costume here.
Just the skull mask.
It was very good.
I loved it.
And Shang Tsung is here too. Shang Tsung is the final boss of the original game, I believe. He's an old man in that. So that's how we know that this is 500 years ago.
Because he's a young man 500 years ago.
Exactly. He is played by... Sorry, I just looked at my notes to check who he was played by, and I almost said, he's played by Shang Tsung.
Played as himself. We got the sorcerer all the way from the Cobalt Mines.
Yeah. No, he's played by Bruce Locke, who played Otomo in RoboCop 3. He played Morikawa in Lollipop Chainsaw. And he plays Mr. Nakamura in both The Loud House and The Casa Grandes, which is the spin-off of The Loud House. I watched one episode of The Loud House and it was a little bit too saccharine for me, so I haven't seen any more of it. I've never seen the spin-off.
I'm waiting for that Lollipop Chainsaw remake.
Oh yeah, have you played the original?
I haven't. Like, it was one of those things where when it came out at the time, I was like, this is stupid. I'm too cool for this. And then as the years went on, and the YouTube videos started coming out where they're like, it's actually a pretty good game. And I was like, man, I missed it. So now that it's coming back around, I'm like, all right, this is the time.
Yeah, it does seem like it's your kind of thing.
I wasn't ready to accept that about myself at the time.
No, I know. You hadn't accepted your femininity yet at the time.
I got distracted by this. So when I was Googling Mortal Kombat 1 to make sure I wasn't crazy, in the top stories panel, we have an article from Game Rant called Mortal Kombat 1, How a Chucky DLC Character Would Work. 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of like guest DLC characters in Mortal Kombat now.
Yeah, they've got like Homelander and Peacemaker, all these randos.
Yeah, I think it all started with they had like one of them had like Batman and Joker and stuff a while back.
Yeah.
And then the Ninja Turtles, I think, showed up in one. And now it's just like it's almost becoming like Dead by Daylight, where like so much of the marketing for Mortal Kombat now is what guest characters it's going to have this time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm seeing I'm seeing RoboCop. Is that Spawn? I think I'm seeing Spawn.
I mean, it's an effective strategy. That's 100% what Smash Bros. Is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Is that one of them?
Unless this is a fake screenshot. Oh, it says predictions, so maybe this is a fake.
Oh, maybe.
I'm just looking in the images right now. Yeah, this is an edit. But I wish.
Yeah, who knows? I'm trying to think who I would want. We gotta get, like, someone who you really wouldn't expect to see doing a fatality in there.
And somebody who you wouldn't mind watching their head get ripped off.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because they will be killed just as much as they will kill.
I didn't think about that part. Well, they gotta do, like, just put a real actor in there. Is it the one that had John Wick? I can't remember if Mortal Kombat had John Wick or if that was a different game.
I don't know.
Oh,
Almost
Mortal Kombat
featured.
almost got John Wick. Yeah, imagine just seeing Keanu Reeves getting his head ripped off in Mortal Kombat. That would be so weird.
Imagine seeing Keanu Reeves get turned into a baby. This is a full babality run.
Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about?
We're supposed to be talking about a TV show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So the narrator's talking about how Earth would be a major prize for Shao Kahn because Earth is so great.
But it doesn't tell us why.
All of these things, it's always like, oh, Earth is the special planet. You know, it's the same in like Marvel and DC and everything. Earth is the special planet that everyone wants. And I'm like, why? What's so special about us?
It's like there are sorcerers and cryomancers from these other realms, and Earth is just full of humans that can't do shit.
I think the one thing that doesn't try to make Earth special in some way is probably Mass Effect, where Earth is just some like backwater planet these new Hicks have come from.
I just ran my hand all over the microphone.
I heard that.
Does it sound real good? Does it sound real juicy?
It's pretty good. Made me feel like I was there, getting smacked in the head.
By a gloved hand.
Anyway, this is where we find out that the narrator is Raiden. I always want to say Raiden because that's how it should be pronounced.
But it never is.
Raiden is played by Jeffrey Meek, who is also playing Shao Kahn here.
Is he?
Yep, he's both of them.
That's incredible. Tells us something about the duality of man.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Jeffrey Meek, known for playing Quinn McCleary in Search for Tomorrow, Jonathan Raven in Raven, and Craig Montgomery in As the World Turns. I noticed there were a lot of soap opera actors in this show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's got soap opera quality.
Doesn't it? Yeah, there's something about... I actually thought it was very... It reminded me a lot of the 90s Star Trek shows in like the way it's filmed and staged and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of like the Next Generation feel about it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's just a thing I noticed.
I haven't watched Star Trek. I can't add to this conversation.
Okay. We've got to make you watch Deep Space Nine at some point. That's the fun one.
Don't people usually like the one with Patrick Stewart?
Yeah, that's Next Generation. That one, it's like 50-50. The early seasons, I would say like the first season, there's like 2 episodes worth watching. It's pretty weird. when the guy who created Star Trek was still alive, it was pretty weird. But then he died and it got better.
Oh, great.
I'm sure he was great. He just had some weird ideas about storytelling, that's all.
He just became too powerful as a writer. Nobody could say no to him.
Like, one of his rules was that there was never allowed to be any, like, interpersonal animosity among the crew. It was like, how do we tell stories?
Right, if nobody's fighting.
It's like, no, none of there can be no disagreements or fights among the crew members. And it's like, okay. Guess we gotta introduce some argument of the week characters.
This is the USS Friendship.
Anyway, he also, apparently, he wanted the Ferengi to just have, like, giant penises. And they had to be like, the show's going on television. We can't do that.
What is the story purpose of having a race of giant penised creatures?
I don't think there was any.
I just want these people to have big dongs. Do they need a reason?
Just the way you imagined it, that's all.
It's just the way that their society evolved.
Do you think I created these people? Oh, I've said too much. Anyway.
Now that you've got that mental image in your head.
So, it's made clear to us that Raiden doesn't approve of all this soul-sucking nonsense that's going on.
Boo! Buzzkill.
Because, Shao Tsung starts sucking out a soul out of this guy he's beaten up, and Raiden, he just can't bring himself to watch. He's just kind of like, ugh, this again.
I wish you wouldn't do that every time.
They really gotta make us watch this.
Get a room!
I heard that in Scorpion's voice, just so you know. Anyway, we cut to Raiden training Kung Lao. Apparently he trained Kung Lao. And now Kung Lao is suddenly in the arena about to challenge Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. It's very sudden.
Yeah, but he's here to protect the Earthrealm. What?
It's just that you said that with the cadence of an anime character.
That's the energy I'm bringing to 2024. I'm going to become a human anime character.
It's not much work for you. You're almost there.
Yeah, but I'm like a dour, creepy one. I need to be a plucky shonen protagonist.
Yeah, no, you were definitely you were giving plucky shonen just there. He's here to protect the Earthrealm.
He's doing it for his friends. The heart of the cards.
There's a lot that happens here. It's made clear to us that Shang Tsung has some ambitions of ruling because he talks back.
After your victory, Earth finally becomes my domain.
Our domain.
He's sassing.
Yeah. But you know, not too many ambitions because he backs down immediately.
Meaning, of course, that I would share its power as your most obedient servant.
Well, he can't let Shao Kahn know everything.
No, that's true. So they get ready to fight, and this is where it plays the opening.
Which is just more exposition.
Yeah, we've just had a lot of exposition, and now here's some more. I don't know enough Mortal Kombat music to know if the music here was actually from any of the games, but it sounded like it could be, which was enough for me.
I believed it was a Mortal Kombat.
When the fight starts, we get an extreme close-up of Raiden's hand. And at first, I thought he was, like, giving hand signals to Kung Lao to, like, let him know
like
what...
it's baseball?
Yeah. To, like, let him know what attacks were coming or something. Maybe they'd learn some secret hand signals. But then I realized he was just crossing his fingers. We got a gratuitous Kung Lao butt shot. That was fun.
Kung Lao is squeezed into these pants. You can see every bit of his ass.
Every bit. And they make sure to linger that camera on it.
I mean, he's got a good ass. He should be proud of it.
He falls down on the floor, ass up, and the camera just points right at it.
Get a load of this.
I hope it was in his contract. I hope he demanded that.
Right? It wasn't them demanding it of him. He's like, no, if I'm gonna do this shitty show,
Listen, I worked hard on these cheeks.
I need the world to see my ass. I'm at the gym every day sculpting this ass.
I didn't do 500 squats a day to not have my ass on TV.
You give me the tightest pants that wardrobe has, and I'm going out there.
Oh, you know, I read somewhere, this is odd trivia, but I read somewhere that the wardrobe budget was too low for them to get bras for the female cast members.
That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of skimpy outfits that are just kind of held together with fabric.
They sure are. But I hear something like that and I'm like, was that the case, or is that just like the executive being like, just tell him it's not in the budget?
Like, I get it. Bras are expensive, but that does sound like we got a bunch of hot ladies. Just tell them it's not in the budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Kung Lao, he like loses basically, and everyone's shouting for Shang to finish him.
But then Kung Lao believes real hard, and his boring girlfriend shows up half naked in a daydream.
Yeah. Reading lines like they're like written on paper in front of her, and she doesn't believe any of them.
You must finish what you have started before it's too late.
There's zero chemistry between these two, even as his dying wish.
Yeah, because he's just like standing in the darkness, and he's just like, no, I have to go. And she's like, believe in me. My power is with you. And then he just like turns and leaves like he's on a turntable, like he's standing on a lazy Susan.
Okay, bye now.
It's very good. Anyway, his girlfriend is Jen Rayland, played by Jennifer Renton.
I don't want you to change my name at all.
Like, couldn't be bothered. You may know Jennifer Renton as Woman in Bar in the TV movie A Date with Darkness.
She's the woman in bar?
She's the woman in Bar.
Wow.
It's the only other thing she ever did. I guess acting just wasn't for her.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah, she definitely... The thing is, like, it's very clear that they didn't cast her for her acting.
Oh, yeah. They cast her for something else.
Yes.
Very specific.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if she got into modeling or something after this, but I don't know what she did. I didn't look too far into it. You know, I think she does fine for this low-budget Mortal Kombat show, but you can see that acting isn't her passion.
Yeah. It is also just hard to tell because all of the women in this they basically just exist to be sexy and get strangled.
Yeah, none of them really get to do much acting, do they? The only one who really the only woman in this episode who really gets to act is the one in the cobalt mines later, but
yeah.
Even then she doesn't get to do too much, but you know, I'm assuming
from the exposition, we know that a woman will have a major part in the story, and maybe she'll get to do some cool stuff later, but this episode wasn't it.
It's funny because the game has, like, I'm not going to say, like, a decent number of female characters, but it's got popular female characters.
Yeah.
And obviously this is 500 years in the past, so it can't have those specific ones, but you would think they would do better. Like, given that, like... I know that two of the most popular Mortal Kombat characters are women. You would think that they would want to try harder to like include women better in this than they did. And maybe they do in later episodes, but this pilot sure doesn't.
I was thinking a lot about it when I was watching this show, just about how they didn't quite know what to do with Mortal Kombat beyond the games. Because the games are famously extremely violent. And then it gets turned into a cartoon for children?
Yeah.
And then this, like, weird drama that's clearly aimed at young men, young boys. It's very strange. Like, they don't know what to do with anything.
It is very funny because, like the selling point was the violence, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
But none of these two shows we've looked at are violent in any way.
You get some cool karate fights, but... there's no blood.
Yeah.
I guess there's a little bit of blood when Shang Tsung gets thrown at the feet of Shao Kahn and he's been tortured for like millennia and he's just a little bit scratched up.
Yeah. Anyway, we got sidetracked here. So anyway, having been encouraged by the sexy vision of his not quite girlfriend, but possible future girlfriend, I guess.
They're dating. He tries to marry her.
I don't know. It definitely, like, they're clearly in love, but I don't know that they were dating. You know?
I guess.
Because she's like, we'll get to it anyway. You know, the camera like lingers on her uncovered stomach / between breasts area. And then Kung Lao is like, whoa! He gets up and he's ready to kill now. Well, no, he's not. But
he's ready to show mercy.
Yeah, he wins the fight. Shang Tsung is now on the ground, beaten up. Everyone's chanting, finish him. Because there's no allegiance here. They just want to see a death.
Yeah.
They don't care who does it.
It's just blood sport to them.
Exactly. Without the blood. It's bloodless sport.
Like, it's just an arena full of conquered people. They don't care.
Suck his soul! But Kung Lao, instead of killing, gives a speech about how the people of Earth aren't murderers. which I thought was really interesting considering that in real life, I think it's fair to say that Earth is the home of the largest known murderer population in the universe.
We've done a lot of murdering in our history.
I don't know that there's any other planet that I know of that has more murderers on it than Earth does.
You've never been to Outland? You don't know what kind of murderers they have there?
That's true.
You've never been to the Netherrealm?
That's true. But has he? I thought this was his first time there as well.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe he's been there a lot. I guess we don't know how long Raiden was training him. Anyway, Shang gets dragged away and tells Kung that he should have killed him as he goes. So we know that he'll be back looking for his treats.
To be fair, he probably should have instead of letting him get tortured forever.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have been a mercy kill, I guess.
Right.
I guess we're back. I got a little bit confused here, but I guess we're back home at Earth. It's hard to tell because it still kind of looks alien. It's like super old. I know we're supposed to be 500 years in the past, but they've used what looks like ancient temples as the scenery, but they look ancient.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Instead
look
of current.
Yeah, they don't look like these are modern day temples that they live in. It looks like they're all living in ancient abandoned temples.
The temples existed 500 years before them, and that's what the spin-off series is about.
Oh, I see. So everyone's doing some kind of celebration, and the drums give Kung some kind of vision of a bunch of dead people for some reason.
He's seeing dark visions.
Yeah, he lights some candles and he sees some other kind of like violent vision happening. And the next morning, he tells Raiden about it. And he says he's being tormented by someone putting dark thoughts in his head. And then Raiden's like, don't worry about that. It's not someone putting thoughts in your head. It's just visions of the future. And I'm like, is this supposed to be comforting? That sounds worse to me.
Visions of the future of his entire monastery dead.
Yeah, don't worry. Nobody's in your head filling it with dark thoughts. You're just seeing what's gonna actually happen in real life.
It's just all your friends and loved ones dead at your feet.
Is that a problem? So Raiden warns him that all he did was delay Shao Kahn taking the Earth over, and he needs to go find and train a new set of fighters for the next tournament. And Kung says, why can't Raiden train more fighters? And Raiden says that it's not his world or his responsibility. And I'm like, why did you train this guy? Yeah, what did you train this guy for?
They don't pay me enough to train them all. We just have a staff shortage right now.
Listen, I did one because I lost a bet. I don't have the time to be training a whole new wave of fighters. I just have the time to constantly nag you to do it.
I have to go be omnipotent or whatever it is that I do.
And then he tells Kung that he has been granted agelessness until the next tournament by the Elder Gods. And I wonder why.
I guess so that he doesn't die of old age before it comes up?
No. It makes sense to me story-wise. I'm just wondering why, like, for the purposes of the show, it was important to tell us this.
Oh.
Because, like, obviously the actor's gonna age.
True.
So, I don't know, maybe there's gonna be a time skip or something?
Right, like 500 years into the future?
Yeah, maybe it was there to explain why they could jump 500 years and the actor didn't age.
Maybe.
Or maybe they thought this show was going to be more successful than it was and have 1 million seasons. But no, because the actor was still age. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't know. That's all I can think of is that there was going to be a time skip or something. I don't know if it happens or not. I didn't look. I don't know what happens beyond this episode, really.
We're just going to have to watch all 22 episodes and find out.
We're going to have to watch some more, because I know that Reptile's in this show.
Uh-oh.
I want to see him.
Want to see how goofy he looks?
Yeah. I think it said Kitana's in it as well somewhere. I don't know, though. So Kung Lao is super mad, because he just wants to be with his girlfriend. He don't want to do any of this Mortal Kombat no more. He's already had his fun.
Right. He didn't choose the life of being young and powerful forever. He wants to get old and die happy.
Exactly. So we go to the city of Zuzin in the Earthrealm. Like, it's made clear that this is Earth, but something about it just looked alien to me. I don't know what it was.
Yes! Absolutely. It looked like a weird alien market town.
Yep. It looks like we're in, like, Tatooine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got this, like, weird dim lighting.
Yes.
It just looks otherworldly.
Like, very orange lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel like Earth. I assumed we were going to, like, another realm at first until I paused it so I could write down the subtitle. I was like, Earthrealm? Oh.
It was weird.
It was weird. But this scene, basically, this is a short scene that exists for more info dumping. We're introduced to Zero, and this is the first time we see Jen outside of Kung Lao's fantasies of her as well. I didn't realize it was the same person at first because she had so many clothes on here.
I know.
It took me. Also, like, I don't know. Looking back on it now, I see that it was just like, you know, fairly innocent. But the way they're introduced here, I thought this was a woman seeing her boyfriend after not seeing him for a little bit. Because she, like, runs over, she links arms with him, she kisses him.
Zero!
Miss me?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I thought they were dating too.
Okay, good. It wasn't just me.
No. And then he says something about Kung Lao.
It's only right for us as citizens here to make an offering to the temple and its fighters.
Like Kung Lao?
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, and that's when I realized who this was. Because she's saying, like, this guy clearly works for her father. He's done some kind of business deal for her father, and she's asking him about it because she wants her father to be in a good mood so that she can get a gift to take up to the temple so that she can see Kung Lao. And Zero, she says she wants to take a gift up to the temple, and then Zero is like, so you can see Kung Lao? And she's all like...
Oh, stop it.
And that's the point where I was like, oh, okay, so this is Kung Lao's girlfriend. And, you know,
Yeah.
it was just like a friendly kiss on the cheek that she gave to Zero. I had to go back and look again because when I first watched it, I thought they kissed on the lips.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just poor staging, I guess.
It's just wish fulfillment.
So Zero is played by Daniel Bernhardt, who seems to be best known for playing Agent Johnson in The Matrix Reloaded. He also played Kirill in John Wick, and he took over Jean-Claude Van Damme's role in the sequels to Bloodsport, which I didn't know existed.
Me neither.
No, there's like 3 sequels, and this guy took over Van Damme's part in all of them, because I guess Van Damme didn't want to do him.
Well, good for him.
So, yeah, there's a whole lot of just, like, talking about the temple and the monks and the Mortal Kombat tournament, which I guess is... It's funny, they talk earlier about how Earth doesn't really know about Mortal Kombat, and that's why it's ripe for the plucking. And at the time of, like, Liu Kang, the normal people still don't know about Mortal Kombat, but now here's these normal people, and they're just like, oh yeah, the Mortal Kombat's going on right now, right?
It's probably because of their proximity to Kung Lao.
Maybe. But still, like, how do you keep a secret like that? Oh,
True.
yeah, don't worry. That's just our monk friend. Every now and then he goes to an alternate dimension for a fight to the death, but...
To save
just
our
normal.
entire planet.
Yeah.
And if he loses, we will be overtaken by a warlord.
But, you know, he's whatever.
NBD.
But check out this guy. He eats fire and spits it out.
Whoa!
And this guy, he'll tell you any card you picked.
It won't be correct, but he'll tell it to you.
He has about 10% accuracy. That's impressive. And we go back to Shao Kahn's house. This is the part you were talking about where Shang Tsung gets brought in or beaten up, begging for death.
I did love when what's his face was like,
How dare you beg for death?
I was like, that's a really specific sentence, and I love it.
Yeah. But no, he's gonna get sent to the cobalt mines for extra punishment.
Yay.
And Shang declares revenge on Kung Lao. I don't know, man. Maybe it's your fault for losing the fight.
Maybe you should take it out on the guy that's sending you to the cobalt mines.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The warlord that's been torturing you ever since you lost.
Yeah. We jump back to Jen and Zero, who are heading for the temple. Zero is warning Jen about how her father doesn't like her having feelings for Kung Lao. But, you know, her father's a bag of dicks, so...
Yeah, we'll learn that several times.
Yeah. And they get attacked by a bunch of bandits pretending to be monks, and Zero fights them off for a really long time.
He fights them off for a really long time, but what really stuck out to me is that the woman who's going to be one of our heroes of Earthrealm is, like, immediately knocked out of the fight, and he spends, like, 10 minutes fighting the two dudes, and then she comes back at the end and he immediately knocks her out again.
Yeah. He spends most of the fight fighting the guys who have their faces covered, so they're clearly not important.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one woman that's in their group is the only one whose face is visible.
And he just slaps her twice.
And she's never introduced to us in this episode.
No. We only know who she is from the intro exposition.
Yeah, that's the only reason we have to believe that she's important, really. Because we're never told who she is. I could believe that she's just there to tell us what a dick the Baron is, because that's her main role in this episode.
She's there to tell us what a dick the Baron is, and also that Zero is a good fighter.
Yeah, but he does also fight those other guys.
That's true.
Anyway, this character's name is Taja, or maybe Taya. I'm not sure. Taja. I couldn't tell you how it's pronounced because we don't get to hear it in this episode. But she is played by Kristana Loken, best known for playing the TX in Terminator 3.
That's a Terminator.
Yeah, it is. It's the lady Terminator. I know. I haven't seen that movie, but I saw enough marketing with this woman in it.
I know this woman.
She also played Rain in Blood Rain. I assume that's the main character.
I would guess so, yeah.
And she played Jane in Painkiller Jane.
Cool.
So she's got a lot of, like, lead roles in things that had 3 stars on IMDb. But still.
Rain, Jane, T-Pain.
Oh, yeah. And then Taja.
Boo.
What was funny, like, yeah, you're right. He just kind of, like, throws Taja. Zero just throws her, like, on the ground immediately. And then he was like, what, gonna kill her?
I guess.
But then Kung, like, shows up out of nowhere and is like, no killing here. You do whatever else you want.
No springs.
But what really got me is that he's like, nope, don't kill her. And then he immediately acts like nothing happened so he can start flirting with his girlfriend.
Enough. No bloodshed on sacred ground. Why didn't you tell me you were coming?
A contribution for your temple.
Right. Everybody just ignore that big chaotic scene. We're going into the temple now.
Yeah, Zero's outside arresting Taja, and then Kung Lao and Jen go to the temple to get a little smooching done.
And also, she goes to show him her sweet karate moves. She's like, Kung Lao, look at this. And I was like, is she just doing yoga?
Yes, that's absolutely what happened. Yeah, and he tries to tell her about his freaky visions, but she guesses that they're sexy visions, and then he's like, well, I'll spoil the mood if I told her about the real ones now.
You're right, they're sexy visions. Meanwhile, he's being haunted by the deaths of his people.
I know what you were imagining. You were imagining kissing me on the lips while we get married by the beach. And in his mind, there's just like death and destruction, and he's just like, yeah, that's what it was.
You sure are smart, Jen.
Thanks for hearing me out. You always have my emotional needs at heart. And now it's nighttime. We really blow through scenes so quickly in this show, by the way.
We do, and it makes it feel like it's the longest episode of television I've ever watched.
Yeah, it felt longer than it was because of isn't that funny how that happens? We've seen that a bunch of times doing this show where sometimes a fairly short episode can feel really long if a ton of stuff happens, and then a really long episode can feel really short if nothing happens in it.
That's just kind of how we perceive time.
Yeah.
Like, when people say it feels like time goes quicker as you get older, it's because you don't have as many new experiences. Just kind of live the same drudgery every day, so it just feels like it goes quicker.
Wow. Also, I did turn up the speed in the options.
So I am actually blasting through this life.
Yeah. I turned up yours too.
God damn it!
I thought it would be more fun. It's not.
You just didn't want to decay alone. You just didn't want to be... You didn't want me to be the 500-year-old hot bod that is Kung Lao while you wither away and die.
How dare you? How dare you put me on blast? Anyway, now it's nighttime and Kung Lao's gone to the trading post where the Baron lives.
I guess.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused about the role of this man in the town.
Or the role of this trading post in this town.
Yeah, it's a trading post, but it also seems to be like the seat of power.
It is, but like, it just feels like this slice of England fantasy thrown in the middle of this karate movie.
Yeah, everyone here is Western, living right by this Asian temple.
Which is not to say that that never happened in real life, but it just feels really weird.
Yeah, it does. Kung Lao wants to speak to the Baron about marrying his daughter. He says he has a deal to make with the Baron.
I got $20. Is that enough for your daughter?
And the door is opened by Takeda. Takeda is played by Chris Casamassa.
Cool name.
It's a great name. He played Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Ooh.
Which will be relevant later.
Ooh.
He also is known for doing lots of different martial arts and stunt roles. He was apparently the stunt double for George Clooney in Batman and Robin. I'm impressed by that. We get to see what Taja's fate was. She's now serving food to the Baron while in chains.
I got distracted. I've been looking at Mortal Kombat images, and I typed in Mortal Kombat and the letter Z, and the first thing that came up was Sub-Zero. I was like, is that a thing?
Is it?
No, I don't think it is.
Oh.
But why is it a popular search?
I hear Sub-Zero and I picture like a bee version of Sub-Zero.
Why is this a thing?
It's Sub-Zero, but he's yellow with black stripes.
That's Scorpion.
No, he doesn't have the stripes. He's got more black stripes. And wings.
There is a Mortal Kombat that's like a hive mind, right? Who is that?
I don't know.
They have like wings and spit bugs.
What? I don't know that one. I know who Meat is. I learned about Meat today.
Chitin. That's who it is.
Oh, okay. Well, the Baron Rayland, is played by John Riley. Not to be confused with John C. Riley. This is regular John Riley. He is another, like, mainly soap opera actor. He's best known for playing Sean Donnelly in General Hospital. He was also Alistair Crane in Passions and Del Douglas in Sunset Beach.
That reminds me, Passions has now occurred in my life twice since you brought it to my attention, and I'm mad about it.
We're gonna watch it. Why did it occur again?
One of them was in a video that I was watching. Was it the one that I sent to you about, like, weird games that guy played, and, like, you could watch a full episode of Passions in one of them?
Oh,
just, like, wander into a side room, and it was playing on a TV?
If that was, then I might have got distracted during that part, because I don't remember it.
And then my coworker was talking about The Baby Grinch, and I was like, why is that familiar? Why do I feel like that has just occurred in my life recently? And it's because the actor who played the baby Grinch is the haunted doll in Passions.
Yes, that's why I found out about Passions in the first place.
I know, but why is the baby Grinch in Passions appearing in my life?
I don't know, but I'm glad about it.
I'm not.
Well, John Reilly also played Hawkeye in the 90s Iron Man cartoon that I've never seen.
Cool.
That's it. That's everything I knew about him.
Cool.
But he's in Passions!
It says it's Devora, not Chitin.
Oh, okay.
I'm very confused by this.
I don't even know who you're talking about. That's too deep into the Mortal Kombat. I don't know anything beyond Mortal Kombat 3 yet, because that's where we're at in our TV shows.
Oh, I guess Chitin is the race, the species that they are.
Ah,
yeah, and
okay.
their name is Devora. Passions!
No! Mortal Kombat!
Oh, dang it.
For once you were actually more on topic. You were still talking about Mortal Kombat. The Baron tells Kung Lao that he can't marry his daughter until he gets a real job.
I am a businessman. I have practical concerns for the welfare of my daughter, and if you cannot seriously provide for her, then your request is denied.
Yeah, Monk, what kind of money do they make?
Yeah.
Get out there and flip some burgers. He specifically says that he thinks the Mortal Kombat thing is a delusion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, maybe you should go fight it then.
Right. Oh, but then Earthrealm.
But then Earthrealm will be punched into diamond. Yeah, alright.
Worth it.
Yeah, you really can't. There's nothing you can do.
Invite him to the tournament.
It's like, are you willing to fuck over everyone on the planet just to get back at this one guy for saying you didn't have a real job?
Yes. I'm not saying that it's a good or smart decision, but yes.
So we already don't like this guy, and then he goes on to call his daughter his property. Like, he just says that.
China is my property!
Yep.
It's like, alright, writers, we get it. He's a dickhead.
And then they really try to nail it in later, just in case we missed it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
around.
Oh, God, yeah, they sure do. That was the funny... Oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. Anyway. Yeah, he says his daughter is his property and she has a price that Kung Lao can't afford. I was just like, okay. Look, now... First, I was like, yeah, go see if her dad's okay with it. But now I'm like, oh, this woman needs to be rescued from her father.
The thing is, when Kung Lao goes to the trade post, like, everybody is super supportive and cool about it. Like, somehow everybody thinks that this is a good idea and it cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
So we go into this situation being like, oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Because everyone there is stupid.
None of them know their boss that well, I guess.
Right.
And it seems like he's gonna kill Kung Lao, like, right then.
Basically.
He has the guards grab him, and he tells them to go outside and punish him. And Zero basically saves his life by coming in and lying and saying that Kung Lao saved them from the thieves at the temple, which is not at all what happened.
No, but...
Zero did all of that saving on his own, and that's how we know that Zero is a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, this moment endeared me to Zero a lot. I don't know who the hell he is, but I like him now.
But he has principles.
Yeah, he was quite willing to not take any credit for saving Jen from those bandits, just to have Kung Lao be okay. So I was like, yeah, that's alright. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. Why does the Baron have the authority to just kill a man?
Because it's in his trade post, obviously.
If a man is in your trade post, anything you do to him is nice and legal.
I mean, it's like sovereign country. Surrounded entirely by a different country.
Yeah, and, you know, this peace-loving monk wandered in.
Trying to make his daughter happy.
Trying to give his daughter what she wants.
Oh, can't have that.
We have no real context for how old these people are. They look young. I would say like Kung Lao and Jen both look like they're like barely 20.
Yeah. Early 20s for sure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the cobalt mines,
I already forgot about the cobalt mines.
Shang Tsung is down here meeting a sexy lady. This is Vorpax. I can't remember if her name got said.
I think it vaguely did. Like, it introduced them with names when we don't actually know who they are or care about them.
Okay. She is played by Tracy Douglas. This seems to be the biggest role that she ever had. She's got lots of small parts, lots of unnamed characters. But you know how IMDb has that thing at the top where it's like 4 things this actor is known for?
Mm-hmm.
Her first one in that section was attractive woman in a show called Boomerang. So
Oh, no.
I was like, okay. But apparently part of the lore of this is that everybody loses their powers when they're in the cobalt mines. That's just an info dumping that we got from this large man.
Like, it's there for a reason, but I also don't understand.
Yeah, it's there. It's there for a reason, but it's also like not used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand like the in-universe explanation because it nulls the powers of anybody in there. And then we learn that it doesn't work on Shang Tsung because he's a human.
Yeah.
But why?
I know. That whole thing made it felt pointless. You could have just had it be that no, he's the only one in there who has powers.
Yeah.
Or just like none of the others just use their powers in this scene and we don't mention it. It would have been fine.
He's the only one that's actually strong enough to get away with using his powers or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just sucks souls out of people's buttholes.
I don't know if the cobalt mines are like... Were they in Defenders of the Realm? I feel like they might have been in Defenders of the Realm too.
I don't know.
Like maybe it's just game lore.
No, I think it's exclusive to this show.
It sure looks like it, yeah. Everything I'm seeing is about this show. Yeah, alright. They're mentioned in a limited edition Mortal Kombat 4 comic.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Wow. Alright, fine.
So they just kind of made it up to not really use it, huh?
They made it up and then they went, whatever. Anyway, this big guy here is clearly like the lead prisoner, I think.
Yeah.
His name is Zadak. He is played by Fred Ottman, a professional wrestler.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. He's in this show very, very briefly. He's a pretty good actor. A lot of the time when they bring in wrestlers, I mean, obviously there's some exceptions. There's some wrestlers who are like great big name actors now. Quite a few of them now that I think about it, actually. But I can also think of a lot of examples where they brought in wrestlers and they just like can't do the acting thing, you know?
Which is wild because
wrestling is basically acting,
actors.
yeah. But this guy does a good job. But considering he's only got like 3 lines, I liked it. He was good at it. But he is a big name wrestler. This guy was known as Tugboat. He came in as an ally of Hulk Hogan. Then he later had a heel turn where he joined a team called the Natural Disasters and changed his name to Typhoon. But yeah, he was Hulk Hogan adjacent, so he was a pretty big name one.
Wow. Wrestling is so wild.
I know so little about it, but
I know so little about it, and I know that if I actually sat down to try and get invested in it, I wouldn't care. But every now and then, I'll like watch a video about somebody who's really passionate about it, talking about the stories, and I'm like, this is incredible.
It's always great to listen to someone who's passionate talk about something they're passionate about, though.
For sure.
Like, it could be anything, and if they're really passionate about it, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I love wrestling.
So, Shang tells Zadak that he's stinky.
You're right. There is no greater power than your stench.
This is basically...
That's exactly what happens.
Basically just you and me at this point.
A schoolyard bully.
We find out that Shang didn't lose his powers down here at all because he raises his hand up and he turns Zadak into a little pile of sand.
Yeah, it was sad.
It was sad.
R.I.P. Zadak.
He was my favorite character.
He'll be reborn someday as Tugboat, and then Typhoon.
I couldn't find out how Typhoon's story ended. I don't know if he went back to Tugboat or if he died a typhoon.
Died at sea.
Well, that would have happened either way. He's either a typhoon or a tugboat.
True. What if he dies at sea and he is reborn as the Kraken?
For some reason, I thought you were going to say he's reborn like as an actual tugboat.
No, that's stupid. Your ideas are stupid. I want him to come back as the Kraken.
There's just a tugboat out there possessed by the spirit of a pro wrestler.
Dumb.
You're dumb. Okay, next, what happens? So I just kind of figured that Vorpax and Shang were going to become friends, but then he just like immediately hits her in the face and knocks her down.
Yeah, he beats the shit out of her and he grabs her by the throat multiple times.
There's a lot of violence against women in this show.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think there's a woman in this episode who doesn't get hit in the face at some point.
Yeah. For a series that is not shy on having deadly buff women, they all just get hit in this one.
They're all mostly naked and they all get hit. I don't think there's a woman in this show who we don't see like the space between her breasts.
Or a fist in her face.
Those are the two things. That if you're a woman and you want to be on this show, you've got to be willing to have the space between your breasts visible and get punched in the face. Put that on Craigslist.
Sign me up. But this is where we get to my favorite part.
Oh, what's your...
The scorpion.
The scorpion. No, wait, because first of all, she says she can help him get out if he helps her get out. But then he's like, oh, if you don't help me get out, then you'll die because I'll kill you. And then she's like, oh, okay. I guess then I have to. And then, for some reason, we get this brief clip of Zero fighting the bandits again.
I think that was an ad bumper.
I think it was too, but it just like comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. It would probably feel a bit more appropriate if we were not stealing this and watching it on TV in the 90s instead.
Shut up. I bought a DVD.
I ripped this myself from the DVD I legitimately purchased.
Once again, like, this show jumps all over the place. So, see, you're saying that this is the part with the scorpion, and logically, this would be the part with the scorpion, but actually, first, we go back to Kung Lao for, like, 2 seconds. Which really
why?
breaks the scene up for no real reason.
Yeah, I just auto-filled it in.
Because the thing is, like, it doesn't even give us any new information. It's just Kung Lao's having the same visions again. Raiden comes in and explains that this is going to keep happening until he trains some more warriors to make sure the visions don't come true. And then Kung Lao is like, I don't want to. I want to get married to my hot girl. And then that's it. And it's like, we already knew all of that.
But now we know it twice.
I guess if we were coming back from an ad break.
We don't need that much of a refresher.
We might if we hadn't seen any of the rest of the episode.
Yeah, let's just design our show that it keeps repeating itself every 10 minutes so that you can watch it at any point in time.
Every ad break, you have to reiterate the entire story up to this point.
You get a show recap like it's the next episode, but it's every time there's a commercial.
No, it's got to be more in depth than that. It's got to be as though it's like next season. Until eventually, after the last ad break, there's no time left, so all it does is reiterate everything that's already happened, and then the show ends.
Terrible.
Anyway, back in the mines.
Where we should have been all along.
This is the scorpion part. And Vorpax also, like, explains the cobalt. The cobalt has power-draining effects, which is why they put the prisoners in here, I guess. And Shang explains that he's a human, and that's why they don't work on him.
We don't know why.
Yeah, no, that's not explained. We're just to understand that humans. Maybe that's why humans are special.
I guess because Cobalt doesn't drink all their juices.
But then you'd think that would be a reason for Shao Kahn to just avoid Earth entirely, but what do I know?
Maybe it doesn't drink our juices because we don't have powers.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, here's the scorpion in a cage. Just a little scorpion. Now, I don't know about you, but I saw that yellow stripe painted down the scorpion's back and immediately knew where this was going.
I was like, what is happening?
So I'm unclear because I don't know if this is like a warrior that's been turned into a scorpion.
But I had that thought too after I did the refresher course to make sure that I wasn't crazy. But then when the scorpion stings, what's his face, the gate guard.
Yeah, Takeda.
He says, "Get over here" in one of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
This is a scorpion thing.
But yeah, no, that is him. I don't know. Is it like this? Because she says that there's like a warrior trapped within the scorpion and that Shang could release it. So I thought that Shao Kahn had like taken a warrior's spirit and put it in this scorpion to contain it.
But why a scorpion if it's a completely different character than Scorpion?
No, I think that is Scorpion.
But
I don't know.
I tried to look it up. I know that there are two scorpions, and the scorpion that I'm thinking of is definitely not that scorpion. But it also sounded like it wasn't the other scorpion.
Ooh, hold on. Scorpion, original timeline.
Because Scorpion gets killed and sent to hell and then reborn as Scorpion.
This would be the original Scorpion if it's 500 years in the past, I guess. But all this talks about is him being a ninja.
Yeah, because that's what Scorpion was. And he's in a feud with Sub-Zero because he thought Sub-Zero was the one that killed his whole family and clan. And then you go to the other Scorpion, and it's not him either.
I think...
Also, once known as Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I think this is a different Scorpion. I think this is where we're seeing how this is only canon to the movies.
That's what I'm trying to say. But, like, why make it a Scorpion if it's a completely different character?
Well, no, because the thing is, the guy who plays Takeda did play Scorpion in the movie. So I think this is like Scorpion's origin story.
Okay.
Because in the movie, Mortal Kombat 1995, Scorpion is played by that guy who plays Takeda. Mm-hmm. So I think this is like how Scorpion was created.
So that's just a different... That's movie Scorpion.
That's movie Scorpion, yeah.
Okay.
Because well, this is where we do a lot of jumping forward and back, because before they release the Scorpion, Kung Lao is back in the trading post like an idiot. Takeda tries to reason with him, and Kung Lao knocks him out, and he's like, "Now they'll say that you tried to stop me," which he did.
Yes, he did.
He sneaks into Jen's room just in time to see her put on some scantily clad pajamas.
Ooh.
Made of a beaded curtain, it looks like.
Right. The amount of fabric is... You can't make anything out of that.
Yeah, it really is just a curtain that she's wearing. And then back in the mine, Shang is doing some chanting over the Scorpion.
I call upon the soul trapped inside and offer these terms for your release. Unleash your malevolence from the skies above onto Earthrealm.
And what I took it as is like the spirit inside the Scorpion breaks out, and he tells it to go to Earth for some reason. And it like flies through the dimensions somehow.
The special effects were so good.
And it flies down, and it flies down onto Takeda's body, and it like goes in him. And now he's Scorpion.
Yeah. Somebody dropped a scorpion on this man.
I think that's what it was. I think that's the origin of Scorpion. Movie Scorpion.
Okay. I like the other one better. I like the concept of a warrior spirit being trapped in maybe not a scorpion, but something. I just don't like that it's Scorpion. I'm not gonna let it go.
I like that it's the same actor.
I do like that it's the same actor. That's fair.
But I don't know. I don't know that Scorpion needed this. But this is like, like how for the Batman movies, they changed Catwoman's backstory, so now she's a lady who like died and got scratched up by cats and then resurrected by cats.
Sure.
It's that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because in the comics, Catwoman is just a cat burglar. That's the whole thing.
Right. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah. But the movies had to add some kind of supernatural animal element to it, and I think they're doing the same thing here. It's around the same time period.
We were just big into that at the time.
Every villain had to be in some way infused with an animal. It was like Ninja Turtles times, wasn't it? I'm going to be honest, this is where I started losing track of what was happening.
I'm surprised you made it this long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like 40 minutes. So Zero finds out what's going on in Jen's room, and he decides he's going to let them escape so that she can be happy. And then like Zero goes to look for Takeda for some reason and can't find him because Takeda's Scorpion now.
I think he noticed that the gate was left ajar or something.
Oh, that's right.
So he notices Takeda has left his post.
Yeah, and then Kung and Jen try to sneak out, but Scorpion Takeda stops them, and a fight starts. Meanwhile, the Baron is sexually assaulting our main female character.
Boo!
We didn't need that, thanks, writers. We already hated him.
We get it, he sucks. And he's only stopped because Zero happens to walk in at that time. I thought we were finally going to see her do something cool.
No, she's all chained up.
So?
Well, yeah. Good point. I can't really argue with that. It is Mortal Kombat after all.
Right, use the chains to strangle him.
But no, she still doesn't even really get to... Like, she's had, like, maybe 2 lines in this episode, if that.
Mm-hmm.
We only know she's a main character because she's in the opening.
Yep.
Is she the only woman in the opening?
I don't know, I'd have to go back and watch it again.
I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Zero walks in and interrupts the sexual assault. And he's like immediately telling the Baron that Kung Lao and Jen have run away to elope.
I know, what's the point of letting them go dramatically if you're just gonna go tattle on them?
Yeah, immediately. Like, I get it, because what they're doing here is they're trying to show us that he's like an honorable man, and he's admitting, because he's not just like, they've escaped. He comes in and he's like, I let them go. I did it. This was me. But like, wait till the morning.
Wait until you know that they're gone. He went straight from the bedroom.
Yeah, and they're not even gone, because in the next room, Scorpion knocks Jen out by punching her in the face. Although she gets right back up. Like,
I was gonna say, he doesn't knock her out because she spends this entire scene just going, no, at various points and stopping dramatic moments.
like he hits her in the face, she flies back, and then she lies there motionless for a couple seconds. And then that's what gives, seeing her there motionless, is what gives Kung Lao the, like, anger to fight back. But, like, apparently she was only motionless for, like, 2 seconds. And it's just like,
yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm fine.
Oh, don't mind me. I'll just lay here.
That's a good power nap. Yeah, I thought it was really funny. This is a really long fight scene. And it has so many reaction shots of Jen just being like, I didn't need all
She
those.
visibly calls out at 2 points to stop either Takeda or Kung Lao from doing something.
Yeah.
And then she just lays there the rest of the time.
And as Mel said earlier, we do get a
Get over here!
But it's funny because it's like, it's very clearly the actor doing an impression of a different actor. Like, it's not his normal voice that he
Right.
uses anywhere else in the episode. They've played him a clip from the game and they've been like, do it like that. And he's done it. He's done a pretty good job.
Mhm.
But it doesn't sound like the character he's playing right now.
I can see the doubt in your eyes now, Kung Lao. You can't beat me.
No.
It sounds like video game Scorpion. Anyway, the Baron hears this fight going on. He didn't hear the get over here, though. He hears a mirror being smashed.
Yeah. Doesn't it's weird.
And then he calls for his guards. They capture Kung Lao. He basically says that Zero's fired and that Takeda's going to have Zero's job now.
That's exactly what he says.
And he says that Kung Lao will die tomorrow. And Jen is sad. To be continued.
Yeah, she doesn't even, like, try to talk to her father. She's just like,
Well, she's traumatized. She got punched in the face by a half-man, half-scorpion that used to be her friend.
He's more scorpion than man at this point, and he stung her with his fist.
Oh, I just want to refer to any kind of, like, getting hit as being stung.
I mean, I basically do. I think the verb to sting is one of the most incredible verbs that we have.
Yeah. Remember the Sting Man?
Yeah, I remember the Sting Men. I created the Sting Men.
I actually watched that recently, and you know, the first time you saw them, what you actually said was Stinging Man.
Well, it is the man that stings.
Yeah, I just love it. It's great. So, based on having seen this episode, I think it's probably fair to say that, because the next episode is Warrior Eternal Part 2. I think it's fair to say that the next episode is going to be Kung Lao, Zero, and Taja working together to escape from the Baron's jail. That would be my guess.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
But I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
To be continued.
What did you think?
It wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the practical effects of the scenery because it just looked so cheesy in that delicious 90s way.
Yeah, I did like the sets.
The story's a little rough.
Yeah, very, very info dumpy.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character?
Probably Zero.
Yeah. I like Taja, but I have no reason.
You can't say for sure whether or not she is a good, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, what we saw of her, she was the one where I was like, this is the character I relate to the most.
I liked what we saw, but we didn't see much.
No, so most of me liking her is what I'm imagining she will be like, but we'll have to see whether they live up to that.
Right.
When she actually gets some lines.
When they actually let her be in the show she's in.
I did not care about Shang Tsung at any point. Everything that was happening with him, I was just kind of like, oh man, can we watch a different show? I was gonna say, can we get back to Kung Lao lusting over his young girlfriend, but I didn't want to see that either. What?
No, that was boring. She's the worst part of Kung Lao.
Wasn't anything I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of Raiden. I thought the guy playing Raiden was pretty cool.
I guess, but all he does is show up and dump all over us.
Yeah, but that's pretty much... I mean, like, look at him in Defenders of the Realm. He was the best character in Defenders of the Realm. Maybe that's what it is.
He was so sassy in Defenders of the Realm,
Maybe
though.
that's what it is. Maybe I'm putting, like, Defenders of the Realm Raiden onto this Raiden.
Because that Raiden was the best. Ron Perlman Raiden is the best one.
No, that was Clancy Brown.
That's right.
Yeah, Ron Perlman was... Who was Ron Perlman? He was, what's his name? Stryker.
Yes, okay. Curtis Stryker.
Okay, there we go. I wanted to say Johnny Cage, but I don't think Johnny Cage was even in that show.
Not yet, anyway.
He's not one of the Defenders of the Realm, at least. He doesn't get a jet plane.
He doesn't get startled by a dinosaur.
Yeah, Clancy Brown, voice of Mr. Krabs, was that Raiden.
That's right.
And he was the best character. Just constantly showing up and complaining about whatever was going on. He did not want to be there, and he was not shy about telling us.
He's the sassy one.
And I don't know if that... I mean, presumably that's the same Raiden. If this is a prequel to the movies and Defenders of the Realm is a sequel to the movies, then, like, canonically, is that the same guy? Maybe he just hasn't built up that sass yet. He hasn't been dealing with Earth for 500 years yet.
Right. He's not fed up enough.
I am willing to... I would watch more of this. I think I've said before, I think it's rare that a show has a really good first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to do a good first episode because there's so much you have to explain. And I'm not here for the explanations.
I know what a Mortal Kombat is, more or less. I just want to watch some dudes punch each other.
So I think generally, like, maybe like halfway through the first season might be a better gauge of whether or not I would like the show or not. I'd be willing to watch more of this. I could see that I might enjoy this when it's less info dumpy.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be, on the edge of my seat every week for this show, but I think a lot like how I enjoy Star Trek, I think I would enjoy having this show on in the background while I work on things.
Right. It's not something that deserves your full attention, but it deserves some of it.
Yeah, it could take a little. I wouldn't mind.
I'll throw it a bone.
Yeah. So we'll watch more of this. I know that there are more characters from the games to come, and I want to see what they did with them.
How many of them are just possessed by scorpions?
We at least have to come back and see who the hell Taja is.
Yeah.
If I'm even pronouncing that right.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe we will. Millhouse.
Don't.
What about the Legacy?
Is there such a thing?
Had it even occurred to you that there might be?
It did and it didn't. Because, I mean, of course they're gonna try and wring everything they can out of it, but at the same time, how can this be canon to anything except itself?
If we had done this episode in the first year of our show, I would have nothing to say here. However,
oh, it's a fresh one.
Mortal Kombat 1, released 2023, mentions Jen.
Ew, the worst character?
The worst character.
The person who adds nothing to this story?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I was a little bit confused by it. It seems like it's mostly actually a reference to the movie Jennifer's Body.
Okay. Elaborate?
I guess Megan Fox plays a character in...
Megan Fox plays Jennifer.
No. I mean, yes. But I mean in the new Mortal Kombat, Megan Fox plays a character. And when Kung Lao fights her, sometimes he will ask her what she did with Jen's body, which is a double reference both to Jennifer's Body and Jen from this show.
Okay.
I guess.
If that's what the wiki says.
Well, it wasn't the wiki. Although, I think the wiki does say it too. But I went digging because I was like, excuse me? And there was people talking about it on Reddit and stuff, so...
Okay.
Listen, I haven't played the game. I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, really. I'm doing my best here.
Grasping at every straw.
There are only so many... There were so many references to Defenders of the Realm. You remember how much we had to talk about the legacy of Defenders of the Realm?
Yeah.
Because there were all kinds of things from that show that they had, like, inserted into newer games. This was all I got for this one. I would have loved Zero and Taja to get, like, mentioned somewhere.
Yeah.
But I guess what they've had to do for this show, because this show is a prequel and it's like 500 years before anything else, there's only certain characters they can use. You know, how many Mortal Kombat characters were around and in the Mortal Kombat world 500 years before the first game?
Right.
So that I can see why they've had to create a bunch of new characters to fill this cast out.
Mm-hmm.
And I can also understand why those characters don't really get to have a place in the bigger universe, because they'd be 500 years old.
Maybe there's a reason that could explain it. Like, I mean, if Kung Lao can stay young forever, why can't the other Defenders of the Realm stay young forever?
Because he's dead. The Kung Lao that's in the games now is his descendant.
Oh.
So, like, I don't know, man.
But, like, Raiden says you're not gonna age a day until the next Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's the thing he said with his voice mouth. Listen, there's a lot of choice. We're gonna have to watch more of this show to understand, I think.
No, we have to. We have to unravel the mystery.
It's the only way we're gonna know. Hold on. Was I feel like I read that Kitana was in this show. Is Kitana like 100 years old? I think she is. I think she
Uh.
mentioned that in Defenders of the Realm too. No, maybe she's not in this. Never mind. She's not listed as being in this. No, yes she is. It lied to me.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's in 3 episodes apparently with 2 different actors.
Okay.
They couldn't hang on to one actor for a whole season. So there's a decent amount of characters. Sub-Zero's in here. Noob Saibot. Kitana. Melina. Reptile. Smoke. Oh, Goro's in it at some point.
He's here to kill Shao Kahn. not
Oh,
Shao
is that
Kahn,
how the
Kung
show
Lao.
ends?
I hope
Is that
so.
the end of the first season? His death. I'd be down. Alright, you got anything else to say about Mortal Kombat?
I don't. This was a weird thing that I watched with my eyes. I was confused the whole time. Not by the story, but just the presentation.
It was a little bit weird. It was a bit weird that it was a Mortal Kombat show.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like one, except when Scorpion showed up.
It didn't feel like one except at the very beginning. And then they got the Mortal Kombat out of the way within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, except there was no fatality, so...
Still.
I guess. Why is it called Mortal Kombat Conquest with a C?
That's a great question.
Why it should be with a K?
I think that just goes to further prove that it's not canon.
With a K?
Of course, with a K.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. If you think I'm funny, head to patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club and give me money.
And if you don't think he's funny, head to patreon.com and give me the money.
We need some kind of like selection thing to say who the money's for. We can get like a vote going on basically. Who's your favorite? Is it me or is it Mel? We will be paying attention.
It's not about favorites. It's, do you think Mike is funny? Yes or no?
If I'm not funny, then you get paid. The only way you get paid is if no one thinks I'm funny.
I'll go start a smear campaign.
Thank you to Jamie Core, our favorite patron.
Thanks, Jamie.
If you want to be thanked along with Jamie, come do the Patreon thing. I already told you.
But you didn't tell them about the coffee.
There's a coffee as well. Do you like coffee? I don't.
I do.
If you like coffee, go to Patreon. Go to coffee.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club and give Mel the money.
Thanks for repackaging my joke.
That was the whole point. The joke was that we already did this bit.
The joke is that you're stupid.
You're dumb, and goodbye, everybody. We love you. We just don't love each other anymore.
We'll duke it out in Mortal Kombat!
Oh. Can we?
No.
Oh. Bye.
It's been a long time since I've played a Mortal Kombat. I just find them kind of slow for fighters, and I don't enjoy them.
Oh, I thought you meant like we would have an actual fight to the death.
Oh.
That's what I was
yeah,
implying.
Oh! I'll have a fight to the death. I just don't want to play Mortal Kombat.